What's up guys, this is TCG Sam here, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing an Invoked Shaddoll deck profile. So this deck was actually one of the top meta decks before Secret Slayers came out, and I'm going to show you guys why. Because it can still make some powerful plays and compete against both control and combo decks, which is going to be important in the next meta. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so starting off with the monsters, I played 3 Yugioh Wendy. Yugioh Wendy is the best Shaddoll out there because it gets you a free body on board to make your fusion plays, or it sets something up for your next turn for you to use a flip effect. And it's also important because it's a different attribute, so you can make Clone. And Clone is a really powerful card in this deck.Moving on, I played 3 Squamata. 3 Squamata is really important because Squamata is just like another copy of every Shaddoll in your deck, because its effect just lets you send any Shaddoll card from your deck to the grave, and it's important that it can send any card, so you can send like a fusion spell and add it back with one of your fusion monsters. If let's say you summoned a construct or a Winda up using an invocation instead of a Shaddoll spell, and that's really important for your grind game. It's also important because it's level 4, but I don't play any rank 4s in the extra deck. Next, I decided to play 3 Shaddoll Hedgehogs. Normally I'd say you only need 2 in this deck, but I like 3 because you want to keep up hand advantage with this deck. So like especially with cards like Invoked Mechaba, where you need cards in your hand to discard to negate, and with more fusion spells, you want to be adding as many Shaddoll monsters from your deck to your hand to be able to fuse. Also, in a simplified game state, you can set this and add a Shaddoll fusion for next turn, which can just be huge. If your opponent has an extra deck monster on the board, it can just get you back in the game. Next, I played 2 Shaddoll Beasts. This one is really good because it triggers so many of your Shaddoll effects to give you pluses. But the reason you play 2 is because it's level 5, you can't normal summoners or anything. But it's a really good target off Shaddoll Wendy to summon. And it's also good to just send off Squamata if you're in a pinch to draw. Next, for the 1-ofs, I play 1 Shaddoll Dragon. Shaddoll Dragon is just good for back row removal, but not every deck plays back row, so that's why I only chose to play 1. It's not much more to explain there. You can also use it on your opponent's turn in a way where you summon it off Shaddoll Wendy, and if you have Rest Shaddoll Incarnation in the graveyard, banish Rest Shaddoll and another card to flip this face up to kind of get a compulsory evacuation device on one of your opponent's cards, which is just really powerful. Next, play 1 Nail Shaddoll Ariel. This is really necessary for the combo. Not much more to explain there. Her effect is also really good to banish stuff from the grave. And then for the other part of the deck, that's going to be a triple aleister, the Invoker. Aleister is a really powerful normal summon, and it's the main normal summon of the deck. It's just so powerful because it gives you either free negate or a fusion spell to start your plays with the Shaddoll monsters, and it's a recurring engine where you can just use it turn after turn, which makes it so powerful. And that's why, and also its gain 1,000 effect is really important to protect your El Shaddoll Winda, because it applies to all fusion monsters, not just invoked fusions. Next, I play 1 of each of the clowns. I think 2 is definitely enough because I'd only send this off like Shaddoll Fusion going second. I mean, if you draw it going first with like a fusion spell, it's nice, but like I don't want to rely on that, so that's why I only played 1 and 1. But they're quite a powerful part of the deck nonetheless. And then for the hand traps, I chose to play 3 Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is 1 really generic, really cheap, but 2, it's also a light monster. Light monsters are super important for your El Shaddoll construct to just start your plays and make a combo. However, if you don't like Effect Veiler, or you think it's too susceptible to cards like Called by the Grave, you can just play Infinite Impermanence or another hand trap instead that doesn't lose to it. But I just thought Effect Veiler is really good because it's a light. And then for the other light hand trap, triple Nibiru. Nibiru is just really good against most of the combo decks right now, even if they have ways to play around it, because they're going to be hands where they can't play around it, and Nibiru is just going to blow them out. And also it's a light, which is important in this deck. Not much more to explain there. And then that's it for the monsters. And moving on to the spells, play 3 Shaddoll Fusion. This is just really necessary because especially going second, it's such a powerful card that your opponent either has to negate, or if it resolves, you're getting so many pluses, and you pretty much just win the game from there off of like 1 card. Next, I played triple El Shaddoll Fusion. This one's the best one in my opinion because you can use it on your opponent's turn to put up an Clone to negate something, or use it on a Winda when your opponent's already committed to a special summon, and you just want to max out on your fusion spell. So that's why I decided to play 3 El Shaddoll and 3 Shaddoll fusions. Next, triple Magical Meltdown to search your Aleisters. This is really important for consistency because Aleister is just such a good normal summon. Even just Aleister alone gets you a 1 free negate and a play for next turn. And Magical Meltdown's fusion spell protection effect is especially relevant in the mirror match and against other decks where you need like your Shaddoll fusion or your invocation to resolve to like trigger all your effects. This is why Magical Meltdown is really good, and if anything, I think they would hit this card over like invocation or Aleister itself if they decided to hit the invoked stuff on the ban list. Next, I decided to only play 2 invocations. While you do want to max out on fusion spells, I believe invocation is just such a weak one to use with if you only have Shaddolls in your hand. You don't want to be activating invocation and fusing away 2 Shaddolls, although it will come up sometimes. The reason I chose to play 2 is because it's so searchable with your Aleister, because you have 7 copies of Aleister in the deck essentially, and you're just going to be able to access invocation so consistently and a fusion spell. That's why I didn't want to draw multiples of these or draw too many fusion spells without any monsters to fuse into. That's why I think 2 invocation is definitely correct. Next, I played 1 Terraforming, 1 Foolish Burial, and 1 Upstart Goblin. So these are just for consistency. Terraforming is your 7th copy of Aleister. Foolish Burial is any copy of a Shaddoll monster, which is just really powerful, as all their effects are relevant in the graveyard. And Upstart Goblin, just for consistency. This can be any card really. I just wanted to be Upstart Goblin because I don't want to brick on hands where I don't have fusion spells or don't have monsters. And it's an easy side out card. And then finally, I decided to play 2 copies of Shaddoll Incarnation. One is definitely necessary for the Nail Shaddoll Aerial combo, but I wanted a second one so this deck had more of a grind game against the combo decks, because right now against against control decks, it might be a little difficult to grind if they manage to stop some of your plays, and Shaddoll just gets you back in the game if you can loop it again and again with your fusion effects. Also, it's an easy side out card if you're going second, so that's why I believe 2 Shaddoll is definitely necessary, but if you wanted to cut one, you can definitely cut one for anything you'd like. And moving on to the extra deck, I played 1 copy of Almirage and Secure Gardener. This is for the 1 card Aleister combo where it gives you a light monster for mechaba or for El Shaddoll Construct if you need to. But Almirage is also really good because it lets you puts a fire monster in your graveyard for Purgatrio as well. So that's why this pack is just really important for the invoked part of the deck. Next, I play 1 Gravity Controller. I really like this card in any Shaddoll deck, even though you don't have to summon your fusions to the extra monster zone now. I just decided this was good because sometimes when you can only put 1 fusion on the board with no other monsters, so like no way to get into the graveyard, if you want to make plays on your opponent's turn, you can send the fusion monster in your extra monster zone to the grave, add back like an El Shaddoll fusion, and then you have a dark monster on the field and the fusion spell to like make a Winda on your opponent's turn, which is just really powerful. Next, I played 1 Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is really good, and especially because you have more consistent access to a fusion spell now to trigger its effect, and you have more monsters to put on the board in the form of Aleister. I don't play Aleister the Meltdown Invoker because I wanted a lot more versatility in my extra deck. So that's why you'll see that I don't play it, but it's definitely a good card that works really well in this deck, especially because its discard effect is not a cost, so you can trigger your Shaddolls. Next, I played 1 Nightmare Unicorn. So this was supposed to be the Aleister, the Meltdown Invoker, but I just wanted more utility. So when you summon something back with Cross Sheep, if you don't use it for a fusion material, you can turn the Cross Sheep and the monster into a Nightmare Unicorn and just get rid of a threat. And that's why I really liked it. But of course, if you want to play the Aleister, the Meltdown Invoker fusion, you can definitely play that instead. And then I play 1 Boral Sword just to go for game. You're easily able to build up a board with Cross Sheep, so Boral Sword Dragon just works really well. And that's the same reason why I play Appaloosa. You're going first combo where you El Shaddoll fusion. Where you summon El Shaddoll Construct is can end you with like Appaloosa, which is just really good. It's a generic Link negate. And then for the fusions, I played 2 El Shaddoll Winda, 2 El Shaddoll Construct, and 1 El Shaddoll Apgalone. So these are the only Shaddoll fusions I play because, well, they're the best ones. Winda obviously is kind of one of your win conditions to completely lock down combo decks from being able to play. Construct is your play starter it gets stuff into the graveyard. And App Clone can be a play starter if you just summon it to the extra monster zone and use it with Gravity Controller. That's why I like Gravity Controller so much. It works especially well with El Shaddoll App Clone. And on your opponent's turn, it's just a free negate. So all these are necessary, and I think this ratio is correct. And then finally for the Invoked Fusions, I play one Mechaba, one Purgatrio, and one Caliga. So these are the most prevalent attributes in this deck, and extra deck space is pretty tight, so I couldn't fit in more. Mechaba, obviously, because you can make Secure Gardener. It's just a free negate when you have nothing else. Purgatrio is good to go for game and clear boards, especially because your Almirage is a fire and your Ash Blossom is a fire if you choose to play that. And Invoke Caliga is especially good because all the Shaddoll monsters are dark. So you can fuse away aleister and a Shaddoll monster in your hand to get free pluses with the Shaddolls and put up a floodgate on your opponent's board. So like this and El Shaddoll Winda is pretty much unbreakable for a lot of decks because they can only run over one of the floodgates because of Caliga, and they can't special summon more than once to out the Caliga and then the Winda. So that's why all these are super necessary, and that's why I think this is the right ratio to play. So if you guys made it this far until the end, I just want to say thank you for watching, and please remember to leave a like and subscribe because it really helps the channel grow and it keeps you motivated to keep posting videos. I just want to say stay tuned for test hands and a dual replay coming with this deck to prove why it can still compete in the meta and why it's still one of the top meta contenders. But anyways, thanks once again for watching, and I will see you soon.